All day long, I didn't realize I looked like a sack of potatoes. I made it through this whole day, and I didn't notice
Nobody said, hey, Russet, how you doing?
that. Yeah. They said, wow, pure Idaho bread. Yeah. Texas tea. Are we ready to start this morning?
Yes, I am.
Monster lizard ravages East Coast. Officials say this lizard, the worst since '78, has devastated transportation, disrupted communications, and left many hundreds homeless.
Monster lizard? Last, the B is out on the printer. It's monster blizzard.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. If you had a rotary phone, you'll love this podcast. Please welcome your hosts, Mike and Darren.
Hi, I'm Darren.
I am Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast. This is episode 257. Mike and I are in very good moods.
Yeah.
And we are happy to be here, and we're really looking forward to giving you this fine episode.
I'm excited because for the first time, this is episode, you said 257?
257.
I prepared.
No, yeah, I know. My mind was blown. You could have knocked me over with a feather.
Not very well. I didn't prepare very well, but I did prepare. So I do want to talk about, I have a Just Stop, and I want to talk about fiber supplements.
Yeah. Oh,
The comedy gold mine.
We have got, you turned 50, and the next week we're talking about fiber supplements.
I want to talk about fiber
We're
supplements.
going to talk about reruns of the Golden Girls.
It's important, Darren.
It is.
I don't know if you've looked at your poo lately, but if you haven't, then clearly you're not monitoring your fiber intake and outflow
Yeah. Okay.
as you should.
Can't
For
wait.
someone of your age.
Oh, yeah. I am considerably older than you. So,
I know. That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
I
This
know,
should be
I
old
know.
hat. You should be like, oh wow, yeah, of course you're looking at your fiber.
Yeah.
But no, you're age. You're age shaming me.
Are we turning into our grandfather? Because it's like, okay, my dad didn't do this, but my grandfather would do this. When he was in the grocery store, he would walk past the grapes, and whoever was standing next to you, hey, those will clean you out. It's like, Bill, stop. They don't need to know that. That would be the copy of his book, What'll Clean You Out, by Bill Oberly.
Up until I was about 35, 36 years old, I didn't think anyone ate a prune ever unless they were trying to take a
Yeah.
and they were over 70 years old.
I don't know that I've ever had a prune.
I may have accidentally had one.
Yeah.
I think prunes are giant grape raisins or plum raisins.
They're
Raisins?
giant dehydrated plums, I
Plums,
think.
okay.
Yeah. I like plums. I love raisins. This is the best episode so far.
The demographic
ever.
that we're shooting for with this episode.
People are like, finally, they're talking about stuff I want to talk about. And raisins.
Okay, I got a lot to let's get to the Just Stop.
Okay,
Can we
well,
do the Just Stop?
well,
Can we
no.
come off the hat, or do you want to interrupt and do
Before
something?
we get to the Just Stop, I
Before.
want to say
Yeah.
that this is episode 257, and I think we are ready to go on Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend.
Oh yeah,
I want to go on Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic podcast, and I mean, I know he doesn't need our help.
no,
But, I mean, you know, he just got the Mark Twain Prize for Lifetime Achievement in Comedy, well deserved. If you haven't watched his special, it's on the Netflix, and it's amazing. And I've been wondering, like, when I get my Mark Twain Prize, who would I have come speak for me at the event? I'd probably have you.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And when you get it, I would come for you.
Yeah.
I would absolutely do that. But I've been going down the list of who would speak for me at my Mark Twain Prize induction ceremony, and I've narrowed it down to about 12 people.
Okay.
12 good ones.
Okay.
But yeah, I want to go on Conan Needs a Friend.
yeah.
I think he has a very good podcast.
Yeah.
And you and I are going to promote this, and his ratings are going to go up
By at least 3 people.
10, maybe 10
Yeah.
people more, when he'll like, what's that little bump? That's called the Irritable Dad
that's
bump.
the irritable dad. That's the irritable factor.
That's Irritable Dad, Conan.
IDS factor.
Yeah.
as it
So,
were.
Conan, whenever you're ready, Mikey and I, we're happy to go on the podcast. And if you don't want to fly us out there, we'll do it remote, as long as you guys set up the connection.
Yeah. By the way,
Yeah.
we will get in shape before we come on your show.
Oh.
We realize that we both look like a sack of potatoes right now. I don't know whose idea it was to do this wide shot
That was your idea. That was cool. We had the shot set up.
We had it.
We had like close-ups. Yeah.
Now we
had to change.
Now we just look like we're having a Pabst Blue Ribbon, eating cheese curls and
we're like
talking
the
about
guys on King of the Hill standing
Clippers
in front of the fence there.
Yeah. So naturally, we talk about fiber.
It's time now for the Chick-fil-A story of the week.
But I want to talk about my Just Stop. And it goes along with Chick-fil-A. I've been going to Chick-fil-A again lately, getting the Cobb salad. I'm trying to drop a few tons before we go on vacation because last vacation, I thought I looked pretty good going to the beach.
Okay.
And I was excited. At the time, I was damn near 40 or damn near 50.
Okay.
This is damn near 50-year-old excited. It's not the same as when you're younger excited. This is, I don't look like a complete train wreck excited.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And I went out there and I lapped up the sun, dodged a few sharks,
you
threw the football around a little bit.
Like nuts deep in the ocean, and I didn't think you would.
And then we saw the pictures.
Can we say nuts deep?
We can.
Okay.
We can, but
nuts
at our age, it's only about 2 feet. Bess took an assload of pictures. And in not one of them
because they hang so low because of our age.
In not one of them do I look like a normal human being. I look like I am pregnant with quintuplets.
Yes, I understand. So
I don't like it.
I'm not trying to detract from your story.
Yeah.
When we went to Yosemite, I told Libby the same thing because it's like Jacob would bend over to pick up the fingernail clippers that fell on the floor, and she would get the camera and say, "Do that again. I missed that." So she was taking photographs and video of everything.
Action shots of clipper retrieval.
And I get it. I totally get it because it's like the memories fade. The photos also fade if you don't keep them in the right box, and I'm getting off point. We were at this lake, and you could jump off the bridge into the little lake, the river, the stream, the body of water, the small body of water we were at.
The fjord.
And it was a fjord. Did you see any fjords? No, but I did see some Chevys.
Okay.
And I thought, you know what? I've had a T-shirt on every time we go to the lake, every time we go to the pool. I've had my T-shirt on. I'm going to take off my T-shirt. Libby,
why not?
Do not get any video or photos of me with my shirt off. And she said, okay. I said, you promise? I promise. I took off my shirt. Jacob comes hauling ass down the hill, woo, acting stupid. Yeah. She goes, oh! And she turns on the video camera and she pans, and there I am.
Yep. And now it's manatees gone wild.
Yep. I'm like, I'm putting on the shirt.
Yeah.
I didn't want video of me.
The old jigglies and pepperoni nips out there for everyone to see. It's just nobody. What? Please don't describe your nipples.
You already did, and you described my nips and my nuts. Okay, Mike Odell, take it away.
This started with Chick-fil-A.
It did Chick-fil-A.
So if you're disgusted by what just happened, it's Chick-fil-A's fault. So I went to the chicken fillet, and the chicken fillet that I go to get into the drive-thru, you can come from the east or you can come from the southwest. Okay, and these two roads merge at an intersection. They merge.
Okay,
and then so if you're in the eastern road, and you want to turn left to go into the chicken fillet, you already have the group coming from the southwest that are turning right, and it's one of those things of like, do you go? Do they go? Do you go? Now on their side, they have a light that they've gone through to get to where they're at. On my side, I have to wait. They all back there can't see what's going on. We all back where we are can't see what's going on. All we see is the person on the southwestern road wanting to turn into the chicken fillet, and people on the eastern road wanting to turn in the chicken fillet. Okay. And you're on the buddy system. You're on the honor system.
You're hoping it doesn't turn into absolute anarchy.
It's one of those things of like, okay, the black car was the last car in line in that line when I got in this line.
Right.
So after the black car, I go, but then the red truck that pulls up behind them, they don't know anything about this transaction. So it gets a little dicey. It's a little dicey. Yeah. We're in that situation, and every once in a while, there's enough room in the chicken fillet line to allow everybody to get in. There's enough space.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Herein lies the just stop.
Okay.
Every
just stop
day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day.
Every day.
That I get in this line, there's some chucklehead.
Uh-oh.
Some brain.
Some dill hole.
Some knuckle who is sitting there, not always on their phone, just not going forward. Now there's 2 car links. Now there's 3. Now it's getting to the point where I'm about to get out of my car and go say, hey, knock on the thing. Dude,
do you mind?
What are you doing?
My question is, what the hell?
Right, because if you honk, then all of a sudden everyone's getting out, and then there's trouble at the Chick-fil-A.
So then they move forward. Now we come to the second part of the problem.
Okay.
It splits into 2 lanes, but it goes through a curve. So if you're in a big Ford 4x4 450, which is what half of these people are in.
That's a lot of 4s.
It is. They take up both lanes in the turn, which takes up about 3 car lengths of space.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you've got people backed up into the Circle K. Mm-hmm. You've got people blocking the Jersey Mikes.
They're below the equator.
The Chipotle people are pissed.
Yeah.
And there's just pandemonium.
Because if you're at Chipotle, you shouldn't be waiting in line for the chicken fillet.
So for the love of the Lord, our Father
and
Savior, if you are in line and there is a blank space in front of you, just stopping and go.
Yeah.
Traverse forward. Move forward. To take up the space, we know that you're not going to be next. We know that someone else is in front of you, but what you're not paying attention to is that there's people behind you who are in a practical war zone.
Yeah, their asses hanging out in the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a problem. Mm-hmm. One of these days, between 11:45 a.m. and 12 p.m., you're going to get a call from a 513 number that you will not recognize.
Okay.
You will answer it, and there will be someone on the other line saying, there's a collect call from Mike Odell. Would you like to accept the charges? That's me calling for you to bail me out of jail because I finally...
Do they still make collect calls?
I don't know.
Are you calling from a rotary?
One of these days, I'm going to go Batman/Daredevil on these sons of bitches.
Uh-huh.
I can't take it. So that's my just stop. Now, epilogue.
Okay, so you raise an interesting point because when someone is in front of you, seriously, honking the horn causes instant road rage, but how else are you supposed to get somebody's attention? They've mentioned this on Bob and Tom before, that they should have multiple horns, when you're pissed, excuse me, can you move forward? Yeah. They don't have that.
No.
And we watched this movie on the Netflix starring Russell Crowe, where this woman was having the worst day she's ever had, ever. And Russell Crowe is in this big-ass Ford 4x4, 440.
450.
Yeah. 455.
A little respect,
220, 221, whatever it takes. And he's at the red light. It turns green. He doesn't go, and she lays on her horn.
Yeah.
And then he proceeds to kill everybody in her family.
Well, there's an option.
And so, like Cameron's learning how to drive, and he's afraid to use the horn, as he should be.
Yeah.
We're all afraid to use our horns because we don't know if Russell Crowe is going to kill us.
Yeah.
Or someone like akin to Russell Crowe.
Yeah. If you're looking for a job, this is what's that called when a band leaves the stage and an encore? This is the encore to the Just Stop, because I don't bring chicken fillet into this podcast without having an epic story. Here's the encore.
You have.
I have. If you're looking for a job,
yes,
I would apply to chicken fillet, and I'll tell you why.
Well, they're closed on Sunday. I'll tell you that. You always get Sunday off.
You may look at the nearest chicken fillet to you and say, well, they don't need anyone. They have someone to take my order. They have someone to hand me my order. They have someone to tell the person who's handing me my order who I am. They have the person cooking the chicken. They have the person telling the person what chicken to cook.
They've got a person who all they do is open up the bag.
They
open up the bag.
They've got the person that's walking around saying, is there anything I can get for you?
Right.
My pleasure.
Would you like another lemon?
And then they double all of those people.
Special sauce?
You can't walk more than 2 feet. When you're within a half mile of a Chick-fil-A, if you walk more than 2 feet, you're bumping into a Chick-fil-A employee.
That's true.
That's how the local Chick-fil-A was, and I thought they can't possibly hire more people. They just brought in 2 more people.
Mm-hmm.
So I have recently started doing the order online.
Okay.
Because I just tap. I don't have to talk to people. I just tap. And it remembers all the weird about your order that you like.
Right.
I want 1 light Italian dressing, not 2.
Right.
I do want the little tomato slice thingies because I like those.
I like those too.
And I like the grilled chicken. And I have purposefully avoided one of the lines in this particular chicken fillet.
Okay.
Because the lady, every time I order from her, she says, "You want the chicken fried like we do?" And that pisses me right off. I've come close to tearing out across their lawn.
Fried like
we do. And she will interrupt me.
Like they do it different than other people
So
fry
what I say is
stuff.
I want a Cobb salad, and I get through Cobb, I get to the you want the nuggets fried like we do? Yes, Carolyn, I do. But can you let me get through the order to the part where I tell you how I want it cooked? Can you let me tell you the item and then get to it?
Can I finish?
Can I finish?
Yeah.
So I don't have to do that. I just have to tap. So you pull up, they come up to you, and they say their normal stupid, well, what's a good name?
What's a good name for the order?
You get to say, I have a mobile order under Mike.
Right.
And they look, I'm like, oh, yeah. Okay. And you just having the Cobb salad and the large Diet Dr. Pepper? Yes. Would you like to amend your order? Now,
what does that mean?
If you don't have a thesaurus in your
the
car,
Constitution's
they're asking
involved?
you if you want to, yeah, but you don't have to vote.
2 senators
They want
have
you
to
to,
be
if
present?
you want to, yeah, and they turn the keys at exactly the same time.
Same time.
To change it, and I say no. And you would
you
think,
like to amend?
Now they got all those other.
Why can't they just say, "Do you want anything you want to change?"
They got all those other filletites walking around, and you figure I don't have to talk to them. I've already got my order in.
Filletites.
You pull up, the next filletite is staring at you. You just drive on past her. Then there's the one that's supposed to direct traffic into the turn, because there's a turn from where you put your order to where you're picking it up. She actually stopped me, came up to the window, and she said, "What's the name?" And I said, I'm Mike.
I'm not supposed to be talking to you.
And she's like, you got the Cobb salad? Yeah, I got the Cobb salad. You got the diet? Yes, I got the Diet Dr. No change.
No.
She says,
I'm
continue.
not amending it.
She said, continue around. And it took every ounce of my strength not to say, continue around, like continue in this curve to the next person.
Like we do?
Is that what, like we do? So I come around the curve.
I bet people listening to us for the first time think, God, these guys are...
Turn around the curve, and there's the other dip who's walking up to me. Order for Mike? Yes, order for Mike. Didn't the 2 back here tell you?
I thought ordering mobile means you didn't have to do this.
Goes back to the window. I got Mike here.
Oh.
They give him the order. This is up for Mike. He comes over. Here you go, Mike. I was like, thank you. He's like, my pleasure. And I leave, and I go, and I fume in my parking space.
Why do you go back?
Cobb salad tastes good, and it has very low calories.
Yeah, I love the Cobb salad.
And it helps keep me regular.
But the thing...
There it is.
I wish...
50.
The Cobb salad should be half the size.
No, it's the perfect size.
I understand, but it's like I eat that, and then I'm like gorging myself, and I won't stop because I have what's called a problem.
Here's what you do. Do what I do. Eat all the salad parts first and just leave the chicken. Then put the other half
of your... a psychopath?
Yeah, then put the other half of your dressing on there, and then just eat the straight chicken. It'll get in all those crevices, fill you up. You're good.
I like the taste of the greens and the chicken at the same time.
I like the feel of $1 million in my hand, but I don't have that, do I?
I've never felt that.
So there you go.
There you go.
And scene.
This has been the Chick-fil-A Story of the Week, brought to you by the Corky Beehive Max Toilet Plunger, the world's most powerful plunger. Hi, I'm Dave Lay. Are you tired of breaking your back trying to unclog a nasty, impossibly blocked up toilet? Well, stand back, Troy. Do I have a product for you? The Beehive Max Toilet Plunger fits all toilet brands, including Kohler, with no splashback and powerful clog removal. Now I know what you're thinking. Why the hell do they call it the Beehive Max? Well, it's because this plunger actually looks like a beehive. It's quite brilliant, really. Run out and buy one for every bathroom in your home, because there's nothing more embarrassing than having company over and having to yell, "Hey honey, can you bring me the plunger?" The Corky Beehive Max Toilet Plunger, available everywhere quality toilet repair products are sold. Now, back to the show.
I think you would be proud of me. The other day, I'm at the house, and Jacob says, "Dad, somebody's at the door." And
you go get the pistol.
Yeah, I mean, my children are allowed to open the door, but he didn't know who it was. I'm like, okay. So I go out, and it's this guy, and he says, "Hi, I'm with Wink Pest Control," or whatever the hell the name it is. It's a pest control place. We're helping a lot of people in your neighborhood with the, and I wanted to just stop him and say, "No, you're not," because I know you're not helping anybody in my neighborhood because I know that already. And he said, "Yeah, we're helping a lot of people in your neighborhood with pest control, and I noticed you've got a big hornet's nest right above your garage door."
Holy.
And I said, "Yeah."
Yeah, we raise them to keep the Michaels away.
But no, I said, "Yeah, we do." And he goes, "And what are you doing about that?" I said, "Nothing."
Damn thing.
It's just nothing at all. And he was stumped. I said, "Nope, not doing anything about it." And then I said, "Have a good day."
Yeah.
And his jaw was wide open. He's like, he wasn't prepared for Darren Cox.
No.
Yeah. I said, "See ya." Close the door, and he may still be standing in front of the house wondering what he did wrong, why he couldn't make the sale with me.
I had 1 year where I needed to be in therapy or something because I said yes to everybody that knocked at our door.
Right.
We ended up signing up for a pest control place, and we signed up for a lawn care place. And I'm telling you, 2 years of both of those, and I tried to cancel. It took me 6 to 8 months to cancel, and I'm still not entirely sure that I've canceled.
Right.
I think I have, but we still have some of their equipment attached to our house, like out here. But I just didn't know. So the pest control place, the big thing that they were about was, I don't know if you noticed, we have a shed in our backyard, a shed.
Yeah, I've got a shed too.
Put sheddy things back there.
Yes. The lawnmower goes in
and
the
there's
shed.
some carpenter bees all up in it.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, they'll get rid of that because that was on their list, pest control most wanted list, like
things.
the FBI thing, most wanted things.
Things to get rid of.
So they're going to get rid of those. And then we had the lawn care people. They're like, your lawn's going to look the best in the neighborhood. Well, no. The carpenter bees not only are still there, they're flourishing. They're starting
thriving.
They're starting to have little helicopters flying. They're getting old. And then our lawn does not look better than anyone else's.
I have so many carpenter bees, they built a barn.
Yeah. I have, and I have dog
because they're carpenter.
Dog, yes, I guess. I have dog that's been out there for at this point 7 years. Lawn care company hasn't done about that.
Well, they don't pick that up.
No, the hell am I paying them for?
They take care of your lawn.
What they do is they come out and they spray crap on our lawn, and then for the next week, Booba is licking her paws, acting weird. And we haven't had a lawn application in a long time, and Booba has been a little bit more docile of late. When you come over, she doesn't like attack you.
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't go for the throat.
No, she doesn't.
Now she just kind of nonchalantly, and then it's out of politeness to claw you, but. For the most part, you're okay. And I love it. We don't have these massive charges. And then I see them and I'm like, damn it, I need to cancel them.
But here's the thing. So Jacob is on summer break from college and he's trying to find new work. He went to a career fair when he was still in school. And one of the people who reached out to him was this door-to-door pest control company trying to recruit him to teach him about sales. And Libby and I were like, no, you don't want to do that.
No.
And he's like, Mama, Dada, why don't I want to do that? And I said,
Did he have a piece of hay sticking out of his...
He did. He was barefoot. He had one, he was in his overalls, and one was off the shoulder.
I tried to take it back.
Daddy,
I tried to take it back.
Take it back, but I couldn't.
I'm tired, boss.
He said, why should I do that? And I said, because they're not going to teach you about sales, what you're going to learn. And this is no offense to you, Jacob, my oldest, and sometimes my favorite son. I said, this has nothing to do with your ability to learn how to make a sale. This has everything to do with common sense because...
And manipulation.
You're going door to door trying to help people with pest control. And if somebody needed pest control, they get on their telephone and they go to their Google app and they type in pest control.
Yeah.
And that's how they find somebody to handle their pest control problem. Someone who's reputable, not Wink's pest control. Wink.
I've got a cheat code for you.
He didn't take the He didn't take them up on the offer.
That's good.
Yeah.
I've learned a new trick.
What's that,
And I
Mike?
can't believe I've gotten to 50 and I've just now learned this.
All right.
My new thing is if I'm thinking about doing something, let's say hiring pest control or cleaning a room in the house or anything.
Yeah.
I just go on Reddit or Nextdoor
Yeah.
and say I did a thing and then wait for all the comments to come in of the people who know better. Why did you do that? You should have done X, Y, Z. And I look for the one that makes the most sense, and then I do that thing.
Oh, okay. You're taking advice from strangers, and it reminds me of a story. Years ago, Libby and I were at Michael's, okay? And Michael's sells home decor, okay? You got your candles.
Frames.
You got your frames and coasters.
Tongue depressors.
Do they have those there now?
Pipe cleaners.
Yes.
Did tongue pressers, did that go out with like a Homeland Security Act?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Patriot Act got rid of those.
Yes, Mike, they did. So they've got all this stuff for the home. And I'm there with Libby. And Libby and I, at the time, had been married, I want to say 19 years. Okay, we'd been married for 19 years. And in our 19 years together and 2 years of dating before that, we had 2 children. We had a dog that we raised as a puppy up until we had to put the dog down, sadly. We had experienced my father passing and her mother and father passing, and she changed her career 5 times. I changed my career 4 or 5 times. We lived in several apartments, Mike. We went from the apartment to a bigger apartment, and then to a home, and then to a newer home. Okay, so Libby and I had experienced all of these things together. God knows how many miles that we had traveled together on various vacations. We know each other.
Yeah, you're familiar with each other.
We are interconnected. Our souls are one.
You know her middle name.
Yes. Yeah, I do. I do. So she asks me, do you like this lamp? And I said, yeah, I like that lamp a lot. She says, I'm thinking about getting it for the dining room. I said, yeah, it's a really nice lamp. I think it'll go well. She looks at this lady to her left who she's never met before and hasn't seen since. And this lady goes, no. And Libby puts the lamp back and walks away. Thank you, stranger, who's probably on Reddit now telling you what to do about your pest control problem.
Yeah.
You're listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast.
Well, now we're having fun, aren't we?
Can I give you some compliments?
Sure. Yeah. Mike Hodel is about to compliment me, folks. Sit down.
I'm concerned. This is episode 257. Mm-hmm. We established that at the beginning.
We did.
But I need to make sure my memory is still working.
Yeah.
In this past month, you've been right twice.
And I don't know. You can't handle it. You don't know what to do with that.
I know that you think that Kick is INXS's best album because you said so.
I've said so many times.
The instant you said that,
you were like, "That no."
Well, that's my natural thing is to automatically argue.
You're like, what's the one that you said it was their best?
A contrarian. I'm a contrarian.
That's
is
right.
that what I am?
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of syllables.
I love peanut butter. I hate peanut butter, says Mike Odell.
So
only sissies eat peanut butter, Mike says.
I was listening to a lot of INXS.
Yeah.
Just like blaring it through the house. And I noticed that every time a tune, it was like this remix. They've made some new remixes in the past few years.
Yeah.
It's called All Juiced Up. I don't know why they came up with that name.
Because
but
kids
whatever.
today love juice.
It's different artists that are remixing and redoing these songs on Spotify.
Right.
And I noticed that all the ones that I was playing over and over were the ones from Kick. And then I started listening to Kick a lot. I'm like, I forgot how good this album is. And then it probably caught you off guard because we have this friend group on the Messenger.
Yep.
And I just came in there because I was pissed. I said, okay, Darren, suck it. The Kick is their best album.
It is.
Whatever.
Yeah. I don't care how many times you hear new
what was
sensation.
The first time?
You've got to crank new sensation.
Devil Inside.
The Devil Inside, Guns in the Sky,
the tiny
Never Tear Us Apart. Is there a better song than Never Tear Us Apart?
Now, I
don't think so.
I do not like...
I love in the podcast when we talk at the same time. we're like Riggs and Murtaugh on Lethal Weapon.
On two or after two? On two and then go.
I'm getting too old for this.
Mystify, I still don't like that song.
Oh, okay.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's great. You did a good song.
Yep.
But it's like Kermit. When he sings It's Not Easy Being Green, it's not my favorite thing that Kermit does.
What? Well,
it's not my favorite
thing. You're probably more of a Rainbow Connection fan.
I do get a little teary when Rainbow Connection...
I'm going to break some news to you here. Kermit's not really playing the banjo.
What?
That's not true. I saw his hand moving.
Well, okay. You can see my hand moving now.
You've seen
I'm
all
not
this,
playing a banjo.
You've seen this fake news about these guys in the puppet thing underwater. But I'm telling you, don't go down this road with me.
Okay.
Now that we're down this road, Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. One of my favorite parts is
it's a very underappreciated Christmas special.
When Emmett Otter is sliding down the slide at the beginning of the show, there's only so many ways that they can show that, and the way they chose is they just threw a Muppet down a slide. It's supposed to be a sweet moment. I belly laugh hard and choke up whatever I'm munching on whenever it happens.
It's not like in the Muppet movie when they did that like half-hour documentary on how Miss Piggy and Kermit the Frog were riding the. Remember how they were riding the bicycles?
Yeah.
And remember seeing that as a kid?
Oh,
you're like,
yeah.
What the hell?
It's like this
and then
massive
your mom
documentary.
smacks you because you just said hell.
Yeah, and Charles Grodin is in it for some reason.
Steve Martin. Would you like to smell the cork or smell the cap?
Very good, yes.
I'm looking for Miss Piggy. Are you Miss Piggy? She's the only pig in the restaurant. I think that's Miss Piggy. Yeah. We've taken a turn here. Yeah.
My point is,
they
do all this movie magic. It reminds me of any other 80s movies. If someone's thrown from a car, it will happen. Someone throws a puppet out or a mannequin out. And it just cracks me up. Yeah. I miss that. I love CGI. I love how, like, the Avengers movie. I would love at least once to see. Maybe they'll do it with the next Avengers outing when Robert Downey Jr. is Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom.
They'll have a point where he gets thrown from a Jeep. And they just throw a mannequin that looks vaguely like Robert Downey Jr. off on the roadway.
Well, that's what they used to do on Letterman all the time when he would walk out into the straight turn. And then they would clearly throw this mannequin. Like the arms. I don't even know that the arms were connected at the shoulder, but they were still in the suit because you could see the arms leaving the body. Yeah. It's hilarious every time.
I'd love to do it. They could have done it. I would love to see them redo Die Hard because they have Alan Rickman. They have Alan Rickman, the famous shot of him like from his face when he's falling.
Yes.
But then they also have the shot of where they had a stuntman jump. I'd love to if they just threw the Guy Smiley Muppet off of a building and filmed it going down. Remember Guy Smiley?
I remember Guy Smiley. He did the news. That scene with Alan Rickman falling off the building, they didn't tell him they were dropping him.
No.
And that's why they got the natural reaction.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The best way to do it.
This portion of our show is brought to you by the ES 1932 Scissor Lift. Hi, I'm Dave Lay, and when it comes to working with heights, I don't screw around with ladders. I do the job right with the ES 1932 Scissor Lift. If you have high ceilings, this bad boy is ideal for indoor maintenance, and it's perfect for outdoor construction projects too. This electric scissor lift has twice the battery power of a standard scissor lift. It can power through tough terrain. The platform is strong enough to hold plenty of weight, and with a silencing muffler, this scissor lift is much quieter than diesel models. The ES 1932 Scissor Lift, for people who don't screw around with ladders. Certified users only. Now back to the show.
This past weekend was Mother's Day.
Yes, and a happy Mother's Day to all who celebrate.
So we went to, I'm going to mess this, Buca de Bep.
Boop. I used to call it Boopo de Hoopos.
We went to Boopo de Hoopos. And holy Lord.
And you got a 24-pound trench filled with
and
spaghetti.
We said we're gonna eat off this for the next 2 days. It lasted till that evening, and then it was gone.
You ate it in a day?
We did.
Oh my God!
Well, we only got 2 things, but still.
Okay. Yeah.
And we got the smalls, but still.
No, God, the last time I went, I think there was 10 of us. We went on a quintuple date. And Lord,
we were sitting
a lot of food
forever waiting for them to come by, and there was hardly anybody else there. They had some Mother's Day tables, but for the most part there wasn't that many people there.
Yeah.
And we were there for an hour before the food came, and the only reason the food came is because Bess accidentally complained to the manager.
How do you accidentally?
So
she complained and didn't realize she was complaining to
correct.
the manager? Oh, okay.
We're sitting there going through our stuff. The ice in our drinks had melted. There was no ice in our drinks anymore. We were there for a long time. I actually got up twice to go through the restaurant to see if anybody else was eating there. I thought maybe we're on an episode of Punk'd or something. You know what I mean? I don't even know if that's still a thing.
The world had come to an end.
Logan
and you guys
Paul's
were the
going to
last
run out and say,
inside a Bupo de Hoopos.
Yeah. And then this guy came up and he's like, is there anything I can help you with? Or anything you need? And Beth said, just our food. And he was like, really? And she's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I looked and I'm like, kind of hungry.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
And he's like, you're making this mother starve on her day.
Yeah. And she didn't say it in a pissy way. She just gave him the facts, just waiting on our food. They came back with the food like within 5 minutes.
Wow.
And one of the servers offhand had mentioned, someone complained to the manager, and we found out later that guy was the manager. He just happened to be walking through that area. We're the area like right where you come in,
right
where there's the bar. That's where they seated us, like right on the end. So he'd been milling around all the other people,
places,
and finally he got lost. He ended up in the bar. It's like, what are you people doing here? Just waiting on our food.
Yeah. Was it good?
He's pretty good.
Yeah, once you got it? Yeah. I hate when, it's like you go to a restaurant and food's so expensive at restaurants nowadays, but you don't want to not go to the restaurant because some days you just want to get out of the house and do that kind of thing. And you guys went fancy compared to... I asked Libby, and I told her...
Did you take her to the Taco Bell?
Close.
Yeah.
I asked her, where do you want to go eat for Mother's Day? And she says, you know what? I'd kind of like to go to Penn Station.
Okay.
And I said, nope, not doing it. She said, why? It's Mother's Day. I can go wherever I want. You said. I'm like, yeah, and you're going to go to Penn Station, and then for the next 2 years, Darren took me to Penn Station on Mother's Day. And I asked Mom, I'm like, we were wanting to go to Penn Station for Mother's Day, and Mom says, I love their French fries. I've been waiting to go back. So we went to Penn Station.
That's pretty awesome.
Good God, they give you, talk about potatoes.
Yeah.
They give you like 2,000 French fries. We five of us split one order of French fries, and we all had plenty. And then we had sandwiches at Penn Station on Mother's Day. Yeah, it was a good time.
An addendum is they did give us a free chocolate cake at Papa de Bupo's.
Oh, okay.
For the wait.
Oh, good.
And that's what we needed was more chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Wendy's was dining in style? Like, you could go to McDonald's anytime you wanted, but it was like a special time if you went to Wendy's. They had the newspaper print on the tables. And like the wooden
remember.
Chairs.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Back when people cared.
Right.
We're not boomers, but
back
we're close.
Before the world was a piss hole.
Yeah.
Full of infested rats.
So in my world, Wendy's was like, oh, you went to Wendy's. Is it somebody's birthday? The hell?
What anniversary are you celebrating?
And the top of the line restaurant in our area at the time was Red Lobster.
Okay.
You could not eat at a nicer place than Red Lobster. There were no nicer places than Red Lobster. And if you got the shrimp and the crab legs,
oh Lord,
get the out of here.
Put a down payment on that.
You might put it on layaway. We may have had the only Red Lobster that had layaway.
4 more payments. That's done.
But I'm serious. Did you look at Wendy's as like a higher class McDonald's?
No.
It's like everybody else would be like, I'm going to the McDonald's. You'd be like, well, I got a raise.
Well,
we're going to Wendy's.
But I always kind of thought McDonald's was kind of
on the lower tier.
On the lower tier, and that's mainly because that's where you would take the kids because of the Happy Meal and the playground.
The McDonald's,
but the McDonald's doesn't have the playground anymore.
No.
And so I don't know.
Tax evasion.
But the last time we went to Wendy's,
no, now you can't.
Now listen,
modern Wendy's is not the same as when Dave was alive and doing this.
Okay,
Dave Malarkey. What was his name?
Dave Attell. Dave
Robbins.
the hell was Dave's last name? You know, he was adopted. And that people who work at Wendy's...
Dave Thomas
was adopted, and so they have a program at Wendy's where if you're an employee there, they help you with the adoption process.
Yeah, okay. If you're younger than us, if you're a damn millennial, the tier, look at it like this. McDonald's, the McDonald's is Walmart.
Yes.
Wendy's is Target.
Yes, that's fair.
And Red Lobster was like going to Dubai and shopping at the... Was that Khalif building? What's that big one there?
That's the one.
That's Red Lobster. That's how it was back in the 80s.
When I grew up in Virginia, the fancy restaurant was the Sizzler.
To be very, very careful when you say and who you're going to the Sizzler with.
Get the salad bar.
Stay away from the oysters.
Mike and I were talking before we got to the show. We were actually texting each other back and forth as to potential topics.
We speak,
and Mike,
to one another.
You
from time
brought
to
up
time.
this great topic of how people are constantly saying, "You, how was it? You can't do that in TV these days.
You can't do that these days."
Yeah.
Boy, yeah, you can.
Yeah, sure you can.
You just saw it on TV. Blazing Saddles or something like that will be on TV, and then somebody will say, you can't show that anymore. You just saw it. It's you just linked to it, you dumbass.
I got it! So, we'll work up a number 6 on them.
Number 6? I'm afraid I'm not familiar with that one.
Well, that's where we go riding into town. A whopping and a whopping. Every living thing that moves within an inch of its life.
Well, okay, Blazing Saddles. You can't make a movie like that anymore. I'm like, did anybody see Deadpool versus Wolverine?
Yes.
The 219 F-bombs they dropped, and all the mutilations and the gorging of the heads. And my God, I was uncomfortable with Deadpool versus Wolverine.
And I know you're not a fan, but bear with me.
Okay.
The analogy still works.
Okay.
People like it was like Rambo First Blood Part 2. Well, you can't do that anymore with all the violence. Yeah. Have you heard of John Wick?
Yeah.
Jonathan Wick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he
you're exactly
accidentally kills more people than Rambo did in the entire series.
John Wick makes Rambo look like Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
He just does.
But it goes on and on and on.
And it's ridiculous. And something else that bugs me, irks me, it really grinds my gears, is when people say... they posted it on the Facebook. There was a clip of All in the Family where Archie Bunker and George Jefferson were at a thing together. And they're like, that was back when people didn't get so damn offended all the time. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
What the hell did you just say?
Archie Bunker, Carol O'Connor, God rest his soul, got hate mail, death threats for his portrayal of Archie Bunker, a TV character. And don't tell me that people didn't get offended by what Archie said, by what George Jefferson said, by what any of them yahoos said, because they said it intentionally to be offensive as the example of what not to do.
Yeah, it's
like, pay attention, folks. People got offended back then.
Yeah, people did get offended. So what spawned this in my head was today, gamers. This is May 13th.
Happy May 13th if you ordered all who celebrate.
If you ordered the fancy version of Doom Dark Ages, that came out today.
Okay.
So for our non-gamer people, Gen X, Gen Xers. We'll remember the Satanic Panic. You remember the Satanic Panic in the 80s?
Yes.
With Dungeons and Dragons?
You could not play Dungeons
and
Dragons.
Had a picture of a red dragon on it. Oh my God, it's Satan.
Going to hell.
You're going to hell. Doom came out in the 90s. Doom was you can't play that game. It had demons and everything in it. There was a lot of gun violence, and that was in the news and everything gone.
Right.
So now they've rebooted Doom in 2016. They've brought it into the modern era. It's badass.
Okay.
So they have Doom Eternal, and then the newest one, Doom Dark Ages. The story has never mattered in Doom. It cracks me up. There is a Doom movie. There are Doom books. The only Doom book that I've ever read is The Making of Doom, which is an excellent book, by the way.
Oh.
And the fun fact about The Making of Doom is they didn't give a shit about the story when they were making it, the people that made it. But I digress. The point is, Doom Dark Ages it's medieval. It's the same stuff. You somehow have shotguns and stuff. It's medieval. Think Ash versus the Evil Dead, but you're the Doomslayer and you're fighting demons in hell.
Yeah.
It has the most blood, satanic imagery, heavy metal, death metal playing through the whole thing.
Oh.
And
because it's cool.
And I am in several gaming groups, and every once in a while someone will post a picture of the original Doom and say, well, you can't do that anymore. And I'm like, are you out of your freaking mind?
You're doing it now.
You posted a picture of a fireball coming from a brown thing that's supposed to be a demon. And here is a photorealistic shot of an actual flaming pentagram that has replaced the sun, demons with upside-down crosses burning on their heads, and you're shooting them.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore.
No.
People are doing it right now.
Right now. Well, and then, okay, so you look back at TV shows in the 50s. I Love Lucy, they slept in separate beds. I think Dick Van Dyke and Lori Petrie, I think they slept in separate beds, right, on the Dick Van Dyke Show. I don't remember.
Bert and Ernie slept in different separate beds.
Yes, they did. That their E bed and their B bed, just like God intended.
Bert buttoned the top button on his shirt under that sweater every time.
There was an episode of Dick Van Dyke where Mary Tyler Moore was taking a bubble bath, and she put her toe in the faucet, and it got stuck. Now, all you could see was like the lower part of her leg.
Oh.
And the rest of her body was covered in bubbles. But my God,
my
the censors,
Lord.
people were going crazy because how can they get away with such scandalous having a naked woman on television?
Yeah.
You couldn't see anything.
No.
But it was implied that she was naked in the tub, which, I mean, I'm just going to come out right now and say, when I'm in the shower, I'm naked.
Mm-hmm.
I was naked this morning.
Hello.
Okay?
7 out of 10 times I'm naked in the shower.
But you look at that, and then you look at shows now where we're lucky if they're wearing clothes. My God. And I'm not saying that I get offended. I think we went from one end of the spectrum to another end of the spectrum.
People get, what was it? Miami Vice, I remember, was too violent. Mm-hmm. That was the thing. We have The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead.
Now, granted, Miami Vice was on network television, and Walking Dead was on basic cable.
Well,
okay, it's on AMC.
Yeah,
that is different.
That's basically the same thing.
Sure. But yeah, there's some shows that Libby and I will watch, and we have to. And Jacob's 20, and Cameron's gonna be 17 here soon. We really prefer them to be in another room.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to explain what's going on.
Yeah.
Lord, have you seen the Precious Gemstones?
I have seen one episode. I want to watch it.
There's a lot of male nudity in that thing.
That's right.
Like,
There was one.
Do those really look like that? Really? Oh my God. That's disgusting. I had no idea it looked like that from that angle.
I saw a blooper reel of Walton Goggins from that, and he said something. I can't say it on the podcast.
Okay.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
It had me in tears because it just came out of nowhere. And it had the rest of the cast in tears. I don't know if it ever made it to the show because they couldn't stop laughing.
Guys, we're going to wrap this episode up. We want you to go to irritabledadsyndrome.com. We want you to go to Instagram and the TikTok and Facebook Reels.
YouTubes.
And the YouTubes. And when you see our video, please like and share the video. Help us out, okay? That's something that you could easily do that can help us out immensely. We hope to see you next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Before we go, you may have noticed that the guys teased a story at the beginning of the show that they didn't talk about. We're sorry about that, and we'll try to get around to it next week. Don't try to sue us. Ha ha ha! Our lawyer will destroy you in court. Anywho, Irritable Dad Syndrome is a Mike Odell, Darren Cox production.
There's no place in this podcast.
This reminds me of a story. One time,
please don't fire me.
No. Well, we can't fire each other.
Oh, that's right.
And every gift is just a gift for gifting.
Just throw a couple of fat, bald guys a bone.
Every time you do that, we will consider that a precious gift, was what I was trying to say. I think I'm just going to have to resort to diet and exercise.
Let's not go crazy.
That happens.
It's over.
Yeah. I don't have to try to do anything else ever again. Ever.
There are times when I almost feel like we did the podcast in reverse.
Yeah.
Like these are our first episodes.
Uh-huh.
And we were more professional in the beginning. I know that's not true, but every once in a while it feels like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Should we wrap this one and start another
one? I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, get the f*** out of here. Sorry.
You get out of control.
I do.
You really do.
It's this mug.
It's the mug that I gave you for your birthday. Blame it on me.
Yeah.
Okay. And thank you for doing that
You're
when
welcome.
I wasn't talking.
Yes.
Guys, we're going to wrap this one up, but don't go anywhere because... What am I trying to say?
Don't go anywhere because we'll be back next week.
In a week. Stay right
exactly where you are. We'll be back.
Ow.